one, two. I mean, just give. I would say, for me, if you're starting up a business, if you don't have a 5 year or a 10 year plan, you know, or whatever you want to achieve in those number of years, I don't think you should. I think you should decide first what goals, what objectives am I, aiming at in setting up this business. So yeah, that's number one. Understand your goals. Number two, focus on the key areas. Okay, identify the key areas that drive the success of the business. You know, and for every business, I would say the key areas could be sales, marketing, customer service, operations, and finance. Can you guys hear me clearly, please?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
can hear you.
can
Okay,
hear you.
so
Can hear you.
what I mean focus on key areas. You're setting up a business. Okay, what's the sales and marketing team going to be like? What's the customer service going to be like? Are you going to be, some people set up a business and they're all of these things. They're the sales and marketing manager, they're the customer service, they're the operations, and they're their own accountants. So you have to identify those key areas. Those, focus on those key areas. How would I push those products out there? Who are my target markets? Who are my target audience? Which falls into marketing, customer service. How do I want to treat my customers? The first call, the first interaction with a customer, helps that customer, how would I put it now, have a very, they say first impression counts. So I would say, you know customer service is key. Then how do you want your business to be operated? Is it going to be a single business, a single man business? Do you want to put people in place to handle different aspects of the business? And another one is, the financing or the finances of the business. Are you making money and spending that money on different things? Or are you making money from that business and putting it back into the business? Because you find out that most people, they set up a business. Once they start making one or two, they start spending that money on different things. But you forget that, on the long run, businesses are supposed to be, how would I? They're supposed to have a long term. It's supposed to be long term. So if you're spending the money you earned, if you're spending your profits, not putting it back into that business, trust me, within 1, 2, 3 years, that business would collapse. Number three, I would say, use smart criteria. What does that mean? You know, ensure that your chosen metrics is specific. It's measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant, and it's time bound. I repeat, ensure that your chosen metrics is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. All of this would, to help you set, a clear target and help, track the progress of that business effectively. Number four, I would say, balance leading and lagging indicators. So what does this mean? It's a mix of, in business, you have to have a little bit of mix of leading indicators, which are more like predictive metrics, and lagging indicators, which are more of historical metrics. So you predict your company, your business to be so and so in the next couple of years. That's like a leading indicator, which is predictive metrics. And lagging indicator, which is historical metrics, meaning who has done this business before? What did they do differently? How did they achieve, that excellence? And how did that business just become very excellent? So you have to have a mix of leading indicators and lagging indicators. This helps you like to provide a comprehensive view of your business performance. Did you all get that, please?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
Yes.
number five is consider industry standards. Okay, you have to obviously look for the industry benchmarks. What is the prices in that market? What are the benchmark? What are the best prices? This helps you understand, which metrics are commonly used in your sector. Say, for example, you're in the real estate sector. You know, that there's a benchmark for a certain type of property. There's a benchmark on prices on a certain type of square meter of land. I'm just giving that example. This just helps you. It just helps you benchmark. Your performance against different competitors in the market. Number six, I would say keep it simple. Avoid tracking an excessive number of metrics. Focus on few key performance indicators, KPIs, that directly align with your goals and provide actionable insights. What I mean, keep it simple. When people start up businesses, I've seen people who set up businesses and expended this whole huge amount of money, and you know there were no KPI indicators to help them align their goals. And there was no actionable. They just felt, oh no, I have this money. Let me just put it in the business. The business will automatically start doing well by itself. But no, I mean, there has to be goals, there has to be KPIs, there has to be indicators. And also you just say, because I have money, what actionable insights are you? What actionable actionable insights are you providing for that business? Number seven, I would say regularly review and adjust your businesses. If something is not working, change it. If it's working, you can stick with it. More like continuously, monitor the relevance and effectiveness of your chosen metrics. um at times when you start businesses, things change. um it could be economic, it could be financial, it could be different, it could be any factor. So just be prepared to adjust them as your business priorities evolve. Number eight, utilize a balanced scorecard approach. A balanced scorecard framework can help in aligning metrics, across different business functions. So what does this mean? If you're doing A scorecard could help you monitor how, where you're doing well and where you need improvements. So you could have like a table of, okay, we did extremely well in this aspect of the business. How did we go about it? What did we do differently? Just help balance it. And also, the failures of the businesses as well. Okay, we didn't do this right in this particular area. We need to change. We need to um, you know just basically just utilize a balanced scorecard approach. Okay, so finally, I would say for businesses, there are some common performance metrics for businesses, to function. And I just mentioned a few. I think I mentioned it before. Um, Sales, marketing, customer service, and finance. So let me start with sales. Those are like the common performance metrics for business to function. So when you talk of sales, we're talking of revenue growth, customer acquisition cost, and conversion rates. I repeat, revenue growth, customer acquisition cost, and conversion rate. So okay, um, what are we making from this business? What is the revenue growth of this business? What is it? What is the cost acquisition for a particular customer? And what are the conversion rates? Secondly, for marketing, we're looking at return on investment. This is obviously for marketing. Your return on investment, which is your ROI, your website traffic. How do you generate leads? Or who are the people visiting your website? And lead generation. That's for marketing. For customer service, you have net promoter score, which is the NPS. You have customer satisfaction ratings. And lastly, you have resolution time. So, for example, a customer, you know, reaches out, is complaining or is trying to inquire, what is the resolution time? Is it 1 minute? Is it 24 hours? Is it within the next 20 minutes? And just, also have customers rate your businesses. You see, sometimes when you take an Uber, the Uber guys will tell you, please, sir, just help me, give me 5 star, give me. Also, ensure that you get feedback from customers. How do they rate you? What do they see? How effective you are? Um, the fourth one is operations. Operations, this includes the inventory turnover, on-time delivery, and efficiency matrix. So the general operations of that business, say for example, somebody orders something from your business online. What is the delivery time for that, for me purchasing that item, to me getting that item, to me receiving that item. So you have to look at inventory turnover, on-time delivery, and efficiency metrics. Lastly, we have financing, which includes profit margins, cash flow, and ROI, which is the return on investment. Profit margins, how are your profits coming in? What is the cash flow of that business? And what is the return on investment on that business that you have set up? Um, yeah, so lastly, I'll just say, let me just get this last line. Always remember that in business, the choice of performance metrics should be tailored to your unique business model and strategic objectives. Yeah, make sure you're regularly tracking and analyzing these metrics, which will help you make data-driven decisions and drive improved performance in your organization. No two businesses are alike. No two business CEOs are alike. They run business differently. So make sure your performance metrics on your business is tailored to your own unique business model. My own business model might be different from Jesse or Shagu's business model on how they want to run their business. So the metrics are eventually different. It's different from every business owner, but make sure you tailor it to your own unique business model and strategic objectives. So yes, I think I've come to an end on choosing the right performance metrics for your business. I hope you guys were able to learn a few things. If you have any questions, please you can just ask me.
Okay, Mr. Afolabi, thank you very much for that message. I believe that each and every one of us here at least got one or two things to take home. I have a question though.
Okay.
I want to know how organizations ensure that their selected KPIs align with their strategic objectives and goals. Like how can you ensure that these selected KPIs align with your strategic objectives and goals? You know.
Okay. First of all, every organization has its goals and objectives, and how they, I'm looking for the right word, that and how they measure their KPIs are different. So,
That's
for
right.
example, a company. Let me just give you a typical example. A company who let me because I'm into real estate. I think I have. I'll just use that as an example. So most real estate organizations, what is their goal and objectives? And what is the end goal really? To make money, to sell properties, to complete different projects that customers have paid for. To The end goal is definitely to make money. Now you employ different sales teams or different team leads or different sales managers. How do you measure their performance? Their performance is going to be measured by how much they bring into that organization. Say, for example, I employ you to do a yearly target of 2 billion. And I'm going to measure your performance and I'm going to measure your KPI in 6 months. In 6 months, I would expect you to have done minimum, even if it's not half of that, at least 30% of that target given to you. So, for example, I give you a target to sell 20 plots of land in 12 months. And in 6 months, you haven't even done one. How do I measure that KPI, for example? How do I measure that performance, rather? So that's why I said in the last what I said last is tailored differently to unique, to different businesses. So I'm using real estate for example because that's my field. If I'm measuring performance of my sales team or my team members, I would measure it based on what have you brought in, what was your target given, and how have you been, what percentage have you met on that target. If I haven't met anything, I mean that KPI is zero. I don't know if I've been able to answer that question.
Yeah, yeah, you have. I understand that now.
Okay.
Okay, Emmanuel, go ahead with your question then.
All right, Mr. Folabi, thank you very much. My question is, are there AI tools that one can use or organizations can use to actually track KPIs, performances, productivity, and all?
Yes, there are tools that you can use. I think I'll share that after this. I can share that with you guys, tools that you can use to measure performance as well. But like I said, say for example, if you're running a marketing company or a sales and marketing company, I'm sure the goal of that sales and marketing company is to reach out to different customers, right? How many customers have you been able to reach out to, um, convert and probably close, right?
Yeah,
So,
Correct.
hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
I can
we can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so say a marketing company, for example, their aim is to reach out to as much as to reach out to a huge number of clients, At least let them just be know. Let the customers know that okay, this is what we do, this is what we sell, this is what we are trying to achieve. You know, so in that kind of company, for example, how would you measure performance? Performance will be measured solely on okay, how many number of clients have you reached? What is the conversion rate of meeting those clients? Okay, you're generating leads, for example. You're just generating leads day in, day out. You're just giving me numbers. Have you converted anyone? What is the conversion rate of the leads that you've generated, and what have you closed? Have you closed any clients? Because if you're generating leads, for example, there's no conversion and there's no closing. There's no money that has been made for the organization. I don't know if you get me. But I'll share some tools that you can use after this meeting. I'll share some with you with Chego or Jesse. I'll just forward it to them immediately. Some tools you can use to measure performance as well.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Falabi.
Thank you very much.
I also have a question, so we don't waste your time because I know you're in a rush and we have to do a lot
Okay.
for you here. Okay, now, so I heard everything you said and it's actually very helpful. As a manager myself, I still find it difficult KPI at times. So yeah, at times we deploy KPI for members of a team, or business owner deploy KPIs to members of a team, which is tailor fit, like you said, to the organizational goals, you understand, and where the business owner
Sorry,
envisages.
come again. I didn't get that. Sorry, please.
I said KPIs are always deployed by business
Yes.
owners, team leads, and all, which is always tailored fit to where they want their company to be placed in a particular
Yes.
year or in a particular amount of time. Now, um, because you have to work with people and people don't meet up KPI at times. You
Yes.
set KPI, probably a target for a 1 billion naira in 8 months, and you have
Okay.
7 sales staff working with you, and in 6 months you've not even made 50 million naira. I want to know, is it that what they call it? Is it that I want to know what strategies can team leads put in place that can adjust KPIs. You understand? Don't forget that this KPI that was set initially is already tailored fit to where we want our company to be. You understand? And you hire good hands to meet up this KPI. And at the end of the
Yes.
day, at some particular point in time, it's almost time for you to make that KPI. You are not even close to it monetary wise. I'm using money as an example. We are not
Yes.
even close to it. So what can a manager or a business owner do in this kind of situation when KPIs are not being met, when KPIs are being set out? What strategies can be put in place? Because you can't keep sacking and employing every time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Let me
So
to be honest with you, yeah, I would say this. I've worked in telecoms, I've worked in banking, I've worked in financial technology, I've worked in construction, I've worked in different sectors, and I've learned something. Sometimes, and I'll be honest, sometimes the KPIs, even the tools used to measure these KPIs, it's not like the staffs are not working or they are not pushing or they are not thriving to want to close transactions and all that. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. It's not because they are not exactly using what they are doing what they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're actually doing what they're supposed to do. Sometimes it falls back on even the clients. Sometimes you would chase a client, and don't forget, you cannot force any client to bring you can't force any client to bring money from their pocket. You can only try, convince, you can do all the marketing skills, you can be a great salesman, you can do everything possible. If that client is not willing to deal, trust me, you're just wasting your time. So I've learned with time that you could bring out all the strategies. You could do, you could employ different. You could do performance goal setting. You could your HR management tools. You could use. You could use the highest level of, you know, sales and marketing and whatever. And still, yeah, there won't be any close transaction. So for me, what I would say is identify the strengths and weaknesses of your sales team, for example. I mean, as sales managers, we all know that there are some people in your team who that have these strengths. Some have these weaknesses. Just work with the strengths and weaknesses as well. Sometimes all those tools and all those KPI, whatever indicators might not really, I mean, it helps in some organization. And I've learned that every organization is different. You know, every CEO, every business owner is different. Some people they believe they've given you you have your KPI. If you don't meet it, on to the next one. They sack you and bring in the next person. They are not interested in. All they want to hear is performance. But sometimes they forget that, even people are doing all they can. People want to close transactions. People have gone out there, they've done everything. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't work. I would say I've worked in an organization where, uh, for me, I think I'll use myself personally. I would say for me, I would like to give every staff that I've worked with, you know, at least 12 months to perform. Yes, you might spend more, you might lose money, but there are some transactions that might not really be closed within 2, 3 months, 6 months. So I just give them that benefit of doubt. I say, you know what, let's do a 12 months probation period. Within 12 months, there's no how you will not come back to me and say, okay, this is the reason why I'm not selling, or this is the reason why I'm not closed this transaction. But when you give somebody 3 months, you employ somebody, the person is just trying to learn about the business. Within the first 1 month, he's just still learning. Second month, he's trying to meet customers. Third month, I mean, let's be honest. Some are lucky, some will close, but sometimes it doesn't happen 6 months. So sometimes I say to organizations, just be fair. If you're employing anybody and you really want them to perform, yes, give them a 12 months probation period. Use the first month to train them product knowledge, give them all the help you can give them all the materials, give them all the backing, give them all the support you can. After 12 months and there's no performance, I mean, I would advise you to let that person go. That's just me
All right.
personally.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was actually very helpful. Thank you. Does anybody have any question for Mr. Folabi again?
No, I don't think so. Think-
Okay, so in the space of nobody having question for Mr. Folabi, and I feel like we didn't have the traction or we didn't have the amount of traffic that we invited, which means that we have to fall back on our marketing strategy for this webinar for the next one, which is next week. So we can have more audience, and we are still looking at probably bringing Mr. Folabi again for this. I will not be making a presentation on Drogo today. I wanted to make a presentation on Drogo. And Mr. Folabi, probably if you are a guest speaker next week, which we would love to, what they call it, I would make a presentation properly on how everything you just said. We have a particular software that takes care of everything you just said, performance,
Okay.
KPI being tailored to companies and organizational goals, setting goals, you understand, and evaluating staff performance, without being biased and everything. Every single thing you said is compiled in the software where somebody can use and it is user friendly. The interface is user
Okay.
friendly and also, yeah. Jesse, Emmanuel, I believe we do have a webinar next week, and I believe we have a lot of work to do to make sure that we have tons of traffic on that. This is actually our first, and which is not as bad as I hope it would. And I feel like it's going to get better next week. Then we'll make a proper presentation of the software and see how that goes. So yeah, Mr. Folabi, we do thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Our marketing team is going to be reaching out to you more about the software and possibly invite you for our next webinar or invite you for our physical event, which we'll be having by the middle of this year. And we'll be discussing the terms and conditions for that, which if you are going to have us. Is that fine by you, sir?
Yeah, no problem. No, that's fine.
All
That's
right.
fine.
So thank you very much for coming. Does anybody have anything to say, or we can just close out the webinar?
All right, Segun. A very nice closure. I like that. Thank you very much. The only thing I would say is that the physical event is for the middle of March, which is actually slated for the 16th of this month. So would appreciate if Mr. Farabi can actually make it. So that's all.
Okay, that's fine. No problem.
Mr. Folabi, we appreciate you. God bless you. And yes, we'll look to work with you. Who knows? Probably you'll be one of our consultants one of these days. So, so
No problem.
thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you everyone for attending. This is the end of the webinar. Jesse, thank you for putting us together. Emmanuel, this is well appreciated also. Yeah, thank you everyone. Do have a lovely weekend.
All right, thank you. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Why is Faye just coming? No, why is Faye just coming to this call? Pedro Tola.
I was just added to the call. I just got the link.
Ah, God of God. No wahala. Well, it's our first one. We hope to get better next week. Emmanuel, nice one. At least we see. Hello, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I can hear you.
At least we see how it goes. You understand? It's just next time, like this week now, probably on Monday, after the normal meeting, we can have a separate meeting and we see how we can actually genuinely create tons of traffic
Yeah,
for.
exactly. I think the one-on-one people invitation is actually working more than the newsletter.
Yes, I think we are going to do that, and also I'm going to have a discussion with Sense. We must do that LinkedIn premium. You understand? We have to do it. Yes, because I know the kind of traffic it can give us. I mean, by next week, um,